Look at that water, I just want to jump in it. I'm in a field, filming a video. I think it's soon time for me to get a haircut. I don't think it looks too bad right now, but it still took like a couple minutes for me to fix it. And speaking from a guy's perspective, that's bollocks. I was originally going to say a swear word there, but then I remembered that YouTube is a public forum. And so while I'm making these videos for you guys, I have to realize that this is public, so anyone can see these videos. So that's actually a pretty good tip. So I'm going to call this video vlogging tips. If you're a video blogger or just make videos in general, remember that your videos are public and anyone can see them. So make sure before you upload your video that you're comfortable with everyone seeing it. Imagine some of your friends watching it, your parents watching it, your teachers, people that you work for, future potential employees that might want to do a little bit more background research on you. When you're making YouTube videos, it's easy to forget that because I'm not actually talking to another person right now. I'm really talking to an inanimate object. I know logically I'm using this tool to communicate with other people over the internet. But right now, from a first-person perspective, all I'm doing right now is talking to an inanimate object. There's no one giving me any body language to work off of. There's no one reacting to what I say. There's no one saying, "Oh, that was a pretty stupid thing to say," or "Haha, that was hilarious." So I have no idea. I don't have any first-hand reactions, so I have to use a lot of my own discretion. And sometimes you just forget. Sometimes you just don't. Sometimes you just forget. You logically know that people are going to see this, but sometimes you just kind of forget. You have to kind of pay attention to what you're saying. Basically, in your videos, don't act like you would around your friends. We all have different personalities depending on the situation. I act differently around my friends or say certain things around my friends that I wouldn't say around my parents. I say particular things around my parents or my friends than I would at work. I would say different things if I was talking to a cashier at the grocery store. I would act differently. I would have different versions of my personality around different people. So I think a good tip would be to kind of build your own personality, your YouTube personality, because it is different. I'm talking to a camera, not a person. This is more of a one-sided conversation. And you have to remember that all of these groups have the potential to see them. You might not be advertising these directly to people that you work with or your parents. Maybe it's just for people, maybe it's just for your subscribers on YouTube. But at the same time, you have to remember that if word gets out that you make videos, then you have to be prepared and make sure you're comfortable with the stuff that you have online. I'm just saying use a little bit of discretion and put a little bit of thought in it before you kind of create this video and send it to this public site. Tip number 2, write stuff down. Write stuff down all of the time. If you're trying to come up with video ideas, write down a bunch of potential video ideas. Maybe write out 10 to 20 video ideas that you could potentially make. Then out of this list of 20, narrow it down. At this point of the process, you don't have to put too much effort into what's going to be in the videos. Just come up with a list of maybe 20 different topics that you think you would be interested in making or talk about. And once you have those ideas out of your head and onto the paper, it makes it easier to kind of take a look at all of your ideas and check which ones have the most potential or the ones that you want to make the most. And maybe sometimes you want to make a few of these videos. Sometimes it's good to notice which ones you actually feel like making in the moment. Like sometimes I have like a few ideas in my mind that I want to do, and then I go about making that video, but I just don't happen to be passionate about that subject at that time. So I look at my list and I pick something else that I feel like talking about and save that other video for another time when I actually feel like making that video. So it's good to have a big list of potential things instead of just one video idea that you have to be stuck with. Once you have a topic or idea, take all of your thoughts about that topic and just write them down. Don't worry about organizing or anything. That's why you're writing everything down. I find for me, my head's really jumbled with ideas ideas. I have a bunch of different random thoughts about one subject, and I could make a video where I just ramble on, but it won't be very organized, and I'm too scatterbrained to have an organized mind where I could just talk about a certain subject, at least right now. And from there I find I could choose where to go from there. Now that you have some ideas on the paper, you could take that piece of paper and just use it as an outline for your vlogs. Like for instance, I'll tell you what I have right now for this video. This is all I wrote down. This is what I just wrote down. Vlogging tips in the middle. I actually wrote out that really dumb comment at the start of this video. And then I wrote down vlogging tip, awareness of online, be comfortable, because anyone could see this stuff. And right here I'm talking about write stuff down. That's all I wrote for this particular video. I have another video that's coming out soon that has a lot more information that I have to remember. So this one is a lot more detailed. It's just basically about how easy it is to communicate and spread ideas now that we have the internet and using internet tools. Once you have these ideas out of your mind and onto the piece of paper, you don't have to sit there and memorize everything you're going to say when you just stand in front of the camera. It's like someone who would make a speech. They'd take a couple cue cards just to remember what point of the speech they're at. They're not there to just sit there and read the speech in front of a class, but they're there just to look down every once in a while to make sure they remember everything. There's more like keywords to kind of keep everything going. And on the flip side, since this is video and you could edit it, you could write out a whole script word for word. It depends what you want to do. If you're able to just rant for a bit, then I would suggest writing a few key subjects like I am for this one. All I said was I'm going to talk about make sure you're comfortable with it being public and make sure you write stuff down. That's all I wrote on that piece of paper, and the rest I just have ideas in my own mind and I'm just kind of rambling. And if it's an idea that needs to be way more structured, I might take those random ideas that I wrote down on the paper, organize them better, refine them, and maybe write out an entire script. Like I'm making a video for my work right now, and I need it to be kind of very specific what I say, because it's more of a video tutorial. It's more technical information than just this, and rather than just thoughts about a situation like I'm saying right now, or ideas. It's actually very specific, technical, so I wrote down a script word for word for that particular video because it needs to be particular in what I say. So you kind of have to identify how you're going to approach your video, but definitely the key thing here is you at least write stuff down. Even if it's a simple video, at least write down a few key points that you want to talk about so you kind of keep on track. Alright, I think I rambled on enough for this video. Peace. Marino videos.